Okay, so I've been going to church every Sunday now. I think a month now. Three different places, but I think I've picked a place to go. But the first hiccup, which isn't really a hiccup, is just kind of something I've picked up. Um, is is I guess every religion starts like a cult, but there is cult like behavior going on. I think if you go against the grain at all in these institutions, um, you're going to get a little bit of a cold shoulder. And if you go with it, you're going to be rewarded with, I don't know if I would say status, but more acceptance and more opportunities of friendships and things within the group. So you're kind of coerced into kind of being like everyone else. And it's kind of collective in that way. It's kind of um, exclusive in that way. There's not much individuality in it. And I don't really read Christ that way. I think he was kind of a come as you are type of guy. I think he stood against institutions like that. When he saw that there was money changers in the church, he expelled them. And I guess this might be the church's way of trying to honor that and keep people with unpure, so to speak, values or inspirations or intentions out of the church to kind of protect the flock or the herd or whatever. But I think the wolves that show up to the church are the ones that need the church. I also think people are very proud in the West of individuality, and I don't think that people are going to want to give up individuality for collectivism. I can see that, um, especially in right wing politics, which also paradoxically supports the church more. But anyways, it wasn't an incident or anything. It was just one of the preachers or the ministers, and I think that's a good thing, is that they have more than one. That's a good thing. It shows a nod of assurances there. But he alluded to not sharing the message with people that aren't believers, and that not to allow non-believers in, and to be careful who you um, essentially recommend the church to, is what he said. So that kind of struck me a little bit odd, a little bit cult-like, a little bit going against the welcoming of what a church should feel like. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. And if it continues, I'll have to find somewhere else. But they were so warm, and they are. So I'd like to say that it's just a hiccup, and that it's not gonna be a problem. But I don't really want to fall into one person's interpretation of what the Bible is, and just follow orders, so to speak. And I think in the West, that's kind of what the argument against the church has always been. And I'm seeing that already crop up again, and it's maybe a little bit less pronounced than what it was in previous generations, but it's still there. And I think the only alternative to that, when still going to a church, would be going to a less religious church, which is almost ironic and satirical to say that. One of the kind of more of a social club, playing the guitar type churches. And this one was like that as well. But I mean, I don't want to feel any pressure. I want to feel at home. I want to feel whatever my interpretation of the scripture is fine. I want a little bit of a community, and a little bit of people sharing their life stories, and then if they put the scripture up, to read it and then take my own opinion away from it, rather than be told what my opinion should be. I think that's kind of why Americans didn't like the Catholic Church historically. I know there's a lot of Catholics in America. I also think that's one of the reasons, other than King Henry's divorces that caused the Protestant movements to start in England is kind of people didn't want to be told what the right interpretation was. And I am seeing that a little bit, but a very micro amount that might be nothing, but I'm going to keep my eye on it. And just wanted to let you know that, because so far all my videos have been positive about this, and this is my first that's a little bit slightly negative. And the kind of just go and do what you're told logic doesn't work for me. I will stand out if I have to. I'm not going to do any peer pressure that will coerce my thinking into being what they think it should be. So I'll keep an eye on that, and I'll let you guys know. So anyways, peace.